We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
3, 2,
I like to just hear the word.
I'm about to tune in now. She gives the voice to the voiceless. I'm about to tune in now. If you entertain, she wants to know your name. I'm about to tune in now. She let it be known. She let it be known. I'm about to tune in now. Wait, there you go. It's the Jackie Elam show.
Okay, I just like to hear the words. Not to hear my name, but just to hear the words. Welcome, global viewers. How are you guys today? We're going to have a great show. I'm so excited. We have an Oscar-nominated producer in the building. Hello. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. See, we normally wouldn't talk to everybody. You can have an Oscar nod and still don't get interviews. So this is why I have my show. I'm so excited. It's a platform for people to come in, tell their story, share their adventure, their journey through show business. And a lot of times we only hear from the A-listers. We only hear from the people who are on Billboard charts 1 through 10, maybe top 20, I don't know. But I want to hear from everyone. So this is why I have this show. I have created this show from my book, and I'm just so grateful and so thankful for LA Talk Live giving me this platform. Today I wanted to discuss briefly, though, off of show business. I received an article last night right before bed from my really good friend Bree Broussard, who is from Beaumont, Texas, and she has her nephew on a football team. A group of 10 to 12-year-old boys are playing football in the football league out there. Beaumont, Texas is really known for football, and Beaumont is really big on football. So there's a story that just recently was on Tom Joyner, and now I think it's starting to get around the nation about these young boys on this football team, all black coaches. They wanted to follow their idols and their football, celebrities by taking a knee during the national anthem. And they did that with permission on September 10th. But after they did it, within 24 hours, the little boys began to receive life-threatening threats. And they have been there's been threats about lynching these little boys, hanging these little boys, and killing them. And it's just horrific to hear that most likely adults are so childish and are threatening these groups of kids. And even on top of that, the local authorities told the parents that if they allowed the boys to continue to play, if they attended the games, not the games that they paid for, because this is a league that's outside of their schooling. This is a football league that the parents have to pay for their kids to be on this team. They did not get a refund. They canceled the season, and the parents were threatened to be arrested if they went to any of the games, if they continued to play. And this is just devastating. And I'm so disappointed because I have a 10-year-old, and I cannot imagine him receiving threats on his life because he took a knee, because they're following what a lot of celebrities are doing when they sing the national anthem. It's a disgrace, and I'm so ashamed for these adults and just America. We have to do better. I'm just really disheartened by all of this, and I pray that this story makes national news so that someone, even if it's the FBI, because apparently the local authorities are not on the parents' side. Instead of arresting the people or tracking the people down who are sending these threats to these 10-year-olds, these 11-year-olds, these 12-year-olds, they are threatening the parents that they will be arrested. Something is wrong here in America, and we need to get it together. But I don't hear any presidential candidate talking about what's really going on in our own land. I don't hear this as a topic, and it should be. And it's gone too far if our kids are getting threatened. It's already sad that black people are getting killed and shot, for no reasons. Now we have our children are being threatened. I hope the FBI or some authority, national authority, come into Beaumont, Texas, and do something. We cannot stand around, and I have a platform and I'm going to say something. So to the 10 million viewers that are watching, I have a duty to say something. This may not be show business news. However, it's our news, and this is what's happening in our world today and in America today, and we have to do better. So that's kind of heavy. It's kind of hard to go from something so serious to now something, that's a celebratory moment, with him being, I'm going to say his name and I'm going to say it very slowly, okay? It's a German name, and don't be confused because I don't know if he put the camera on him yet. Don't be confused, okay? He has a German name. But we have Oscar-nominated Claus Toksvig Kjaer. Did I say it right?
Perfect.
I always put my body into it. Hello, hello. I'm so excited. You are my first Oscar-nominated guest, and I will have many more. So I just wanted to thank you so much for coming to my show. I know that you are in town from where?
Well, I came in earlier this week promoting our new film, Long Way North. And I'm going back this tomorrow, actually.
Going back where?
Yeah, to Denmark.
Denmark.
Yeah.
Awesome. So were you born and raised in Denmark?
Well, I was 3 months old when I came to Denmark.
Okay.
So I'm completely Danish. Even I was born in South Korea, not North Korea, South Korea. So yeah, I'm completely Danish.
That's amazing. And so, how did you get into the film industry?
Well, always loved drawing. I really loved drawing from I was like 4, 5 years old. I think my parents found drawings that I did when I was 4 about, Disney, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck. I was just basically drawing them. I was watching cartoons since I was really little.
Mm-hmm.
So there was always an interest in animation for me.
Okay.
And then because I'm born in 77, so there wasn't a lot of cartoons playing. Now there's so many channels out there. You can find it anywhere, YouTube, wherever you go. But when there was only one television station when I grew up the first years in Denmark,
Okay.
and they were playing cartoons once a week. And
Oh,
I was
that's
always tuning in on that 1 hour cartoon special. And guy kind of programmed that from the Danish radio. It's called Danish Radio, the TV station too in Denmark. I got to meet him later on. And I really wanted to thank him because he's one of the inspirations for how I got to learn how to draw a little.
So it's a natural gift then. If you started drawing at that young age, because it took, and I have 2 boys, and boys tend to be more messy in their writing, more messy in their room, and even drawing. Like sometimes try a little harder. But you were at 5 picking up a pencil and drawing at a young age.
I was. It didn't look great. It just,
Probably
but you
better
could
than the
see that it
average.
was
Something special.
Mickey Mouse. So I guess it was fine. But then of course I continued drawing, and but I let it go for time being, because when you get older, go to school and you play football and then it becomes maybe secondary priority. But I never forgot it, and I always loved drawing. And then when I got a little older, I wanted to apply for the Animation Workshop, which is a very, very good school in Denmark who educates animation, character animators and CG artists and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically where I learned my craft.
So you went to the animation school,
Yeah.
and that was after like high school. You guys have that.
That was after high school.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. And then you graduated, and then how did you fall into the film industry? And is it a strong film industry in Denmark?
It's pretty strong considering Denmark is only 5 million people. So I would say we have a pretty big film, community. Especially in live action, we have a pretty strong film community. Animation, we have, some studios who really did well. And the thing is, most people try to get jobs there. What I did was I wanted to try to get out of Denmark just to get myself, acquainted with the industry better, and just to learn from different people. So my first job was actually for Cartoon Saloon and which we later got to co-produce Song of the Sea with. So it was a really great start for me to work for them.
And that was your first job?
That was my real first job. I did short films before that didn't really pay anything. I did, all you have to do to get somewhere, right?
Exactly.
But my first real job was actually for Cartoon Saloon in Kilkenny Island, and I did like close to 2 years for them in project managing,
Okay.
which was really nice.
So are you bi-coastal or bi-country, I should say, not coastal, bi-country? Do you work in Denmark and then you come here? Do you go back and forth?
Well, now we have a studio in Denmark.
Okay.
So after I got back from Ireland, I have a partner in Copenhagen, and then we have a production facility in Viborg, Denmark, where I'm leading the studio. So so that's where we do all our production work. So I will work in Denmark, do the production work, and I will travel here when needed
Okay.
to either promote or to talk about the films we co-produce, or yeah.
So you still have to come here to the heart of Hollywood to do all the promotion and marketing for the films that you do.
Yes, I think it's vital because Denmark is such a tiny country, and if we didn't come here, our director was here 3 days too. Try to support the film the best as possible. If we didn't do that, I don't think we will be heard that much, right? So if we're not here to support it,
Okay.
it doesn't really make a big difference. So we gotta be here, and we're so happy the film got released a few weeks ago. And it's a limited release, so it's not out everywhere. But just the fact that it comes here, and the press is really taking a shine to it, which is also great. And I don't know how that would work if you don't come here.
So do you guys have unions out there in Denmark? Is it SAG-AFTRA out there in your country as well?
We do. There are different kinds, but obviously not as strong here.
Okay.
Obviously, LA and Hollywood, that is the place to be if you make film, and it doesn't matter if it's animated film or live action film. It's a really strong industry here.
Okay, I always thought it would be different if it was, animated. Like you can film anywhere, of course, in the
Right.
world, but you still have to come to the heart of it. You still have to come where it all started to really.
Yeah, because there is this thing where, because there's such an interest here, and if it gets picked up by a U.S. distributor or people really like it, like in the case of Long Way North and Song of the Sea, then there will be a lot of chattering about it, and people want to see it, and it's just a bigger community of supporters in animation too.
And is that the ultimate goal for all filmmakers, is to have it known in Hollywood, not just where they are locally, but to have it here, to have it promoted, and to even be nominated for a lot of the award shows that they have out here?
Yeah, I really think it's super important, and there's a little joke going around because I'm from a very small town in Viborg, where there's only it's called Viborg, and there's only 50,000 people living in the city.
Wow.
It doesn't even qualify for a city. But the thing is that even when I'm here now, and I've been promoting Long Way North for a week, the local newspaper will just write about that I was here. It doesn't really matter that just because I was in LA.
Oh, not about the movie.
Yeah,
They
but
can
that's true. But just because I went here, that's super big in Viborg,
Oh, okay.
which is really funny because I don't think basically nowhere else will write about that. I just had a little travel here and
To
then,
LA, exactly.
Yeah.
Because most of the residents may not ever make it out here, so they're excited about that, I guess.
I guess, and it is really great to be here, and you have the best weather ever.
Yes,
so.
I do agree. I don't want to live anywhere else
Right.
in California, because it's not the entire America, of course, but California has great, great weather.
Yes, I come here 3 times a year actually.
Okay.
To do any our business meetings, or if there's a film we have to support, and it's always like this weather.
Yes, throughout the year.
Yeah.
Throughout the year. So I guess I'm trying to just understand more of how is the film industry in Denmark. Like, is it a small group as well, like a small selective people that kind of like put out films locally as well, or do they all aspire to come over here? So if you make something over there, you guys will most likely end up over here.
Good question. I think if you are, like a Danish company like we are, if your focus is just to find the money in Denmark, then you make a Danish story, you make a Danish film, then you have the support and from the Danish industry, and the DFI, Danish Film Institute, which also support films in Denmark. But everybody, I think, everybody I know of at least, they would want to have it sold to the US
Okay.
first. It's one of the most important, countries. There's a list of, I guess, what country you would like to
Right.
sell to,
Okay.
and obviously the US is pretty high, probably one of the highest, because if it comes out here and if successful, just that will kind of catapult it into, I guess, I don't know if that makes sense, other countries picking the film up.
So it's like
Yeah,
we set the tone here.
in a
It's-
way.
It was started
in a way.
here. We set the tone, and if
Yeah.
it does well here,
Yeah.
then other countries will jump on
And it's
it.
not only about the press or the distribution of it. It's also about the awards. Like for Song of the Sea, we were so lucky. I went last year in February with our director Tom Moore and our producer Paul Young to the Oscars. And the fact that it was nominated for an Oscar, I don't know if you can imagine how much that meant for such a small film. So that meant everybody was, what is that movie? Because we were up against Big Hero 6 from Disney.
Oh,
We were up
okay.
against How to Train Your Dragon from DreamWorks, the sequel.
Yes. we
And
saw
these are
those.
huge
Huge,
films, right?
big
that are
budgets.
distributed in every country. And of course, they were like, Song of the Sea, what is that? And then it starts to, because when you're in that company, it's just kind of a really high bar for it. And then people were interested in it, and then they watched it. And I don't know how many people, there were definitely people who would have watched it anyway.
Mhm.
But let's just say we got a lot more watching it because of that.
Just because.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. So congratulations,
Thanks.
because that's a great accomplishment. Coming from a country of only 5 million, coming from a town of only 5,000, and then making it all the way to Hollywood.
Yeah.
That-
No, it's pretty cool. The way we, just to give you an idea, the way we work usually in so far, is that because we co-produce films, we take a little bite of the overall budget
Okay.
and raise that finance, and we make, in the Song of the Sea case, we made maybe 35 minutes of the animation of the film. The rest is done in different countries.
Even with animated movies. I
Be-
know they do that with actual film, with
Yeah.
humans, when you're
We
filming
also
people.
do it this
What-
way.
We have to talk more about that when we come back from the commercial break, because you just think that you just draw, and then how easy is it to draw in one place, draw, and then create that animated movie? I didn't think it was that complicated and that deep, where other production companies wanted to get their hands on it. That's interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot going on because we can raise the budget, so in the case, I will tell you all about that.
Okay, when we
yeah.
come back, see, we're gonna learn today, people. That's what I love. I love. I love. Did I say Entertainment Unlimited this time? I think I took the second part of my name of my show off. I didn't say it last show, and I don't remember saying it. But this is Jackie Elam Live, Entertainment Unlimited, and we are talking to Claus Toksvig Kjaer. I'm really on myself for pronouncing these names, and I have done a great job with his. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. We're going to commercial break. We're going to learn more about breaking up the animation movies and different people drawing and taking part of it. That's very interesting. Stay tuned.
We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Introducing Cover Your Child in the Entertainment Industry, an informative and revealing book from author Jackie Elam. Jackie Elam is an experienced and working actress, mom, and manager whose 2 sons are child actors that have worked in motion pictures, modeling, television shows, and commercials. Cover Your Child in the Entertainment Industry is an enlightening and instructive book that teaches parents how to get their child into the entertainment industry and provides answers to some of the tough questions for parents who already have children in show business. Author Jackie Elam wrote this book to educate and empower parents to be proactive and learn the ins and outs of the business, as well as the laws that govern it in California and other states. As a parent, you'll learn what to look for in contracts, how you can avoid being a victim of fraud, set stories, how to take the pressure off of your child to make the entire process fun, and so much more. Order your copy of Cover Your Child in the Entertainment Industry today by logging on to www.jackieelam.com.
Welcome, this is Greg, inviting you to tune in Saturday, 6 p.m. to the Mystic Ballroom. All vinyl most of the time, and we'll cover psychedelic, soul, garage, and much, much more. Myself and the Young Mogul, we're bringing you this every Saturday at 6 p.m. exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, or you can listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality, radio, handcrafted for yours and mine listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
3, 2, I'm about to tune in now. She gives a voice to the voiceless. I'm about to tune in now.
Welcome back, my global viewers. Thank you so much for tuning in to Jackie Elam Live Entertainment Unlimited. We are talking to Claus. I'll just say his first name. Here. I got it, though. I got his name. So right when we were on a commercial break, because y'all know I talk to my guests when I'm on commercial break, and I was just saying, like, do they still flip it? Like, do they do the pictures and then they flip it? And he's like, no. So we'll talk about that after we show you the clip from Song of the Sea. This is the animated movie that was nominated for an Oscar.
This is an ancient shell that my mother gave me a long time ago. Hold it to your ear and listen carefully. You will hear the Song of the Sea. Keep listening.
Between the north, between the south, from the shell, the song of the sea, neath the pole of the quiet. Searching for love again. Whoa!
This is an ancient shell that my mother gave
Great
me a long
movie. So this is the one that was nominated for the Oscar against these big, huge, probably $100 million budgets. Like how
165.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's how much animated movies are now. The budget, that's crazy. That's almost
Right.
200 million.
We did song, in fact, for I think less than 6 million euros. So it was really. Here's another
Amazing.
funny story, by the way. Last year we did like a little tour for Long Way North, and we screened it actually at some of the big studios because they were so interested in seeing the new film that was coming along. And there was a Q&A after the screening at Disney, and there was one of the people was asking, so what's the budget for your film? And Long Way North was a little higher budget than Song, but not a lot. So I think it was like a little above 6 million euros. And then they were like laughing because they thought it was a joke.
Like, how is it even possible when it's 165
And then we were
million
like,
here?
we were like silent and like, oh.
Oh, you're
and then
serious?
they were applauding because it was like, that was.
They didn't believe you.
No, they not in the beginning. But when we didn't say anything, we were like, yeah, but that's it. And they were like, wow. And then they were applauding because that's unheard of.
And I know that bigger, what is it, studios or production companies would love that because the return on their money would be awesome if they could make an animated movie over here for 6 million
Right,
instead of 165.
Exactly, but there's also I would love, don't get me wrong, I would love to do a film with $100 million budget. But the thing is, in Europe, the way, and again, back to the financing, the way we finance these is because no country, we're quite a smaller countries.
Okay.
So there's no way we can find that kind of money in one country alone.
Okay.
So in case of Song of the Sea, was the main production studios, Cartoon Saloon in Ireland, and they had the idea for the film. And then they want to make it, but you can only get this much out of Ireland. So they were like, hey, we know you from, the past. Can we co-produce this with you guys? We say, of course, this is a great film. And then we find money. And we also had Belgium coming in. We had France coming in.
So is that how it ended up being split?
And then it ended up exactly being a little lower than 6 million euro budget. But then you have 5 countries that together will define the budget for the film.
And then you assigned a portion of the movie.
Yes, to each co-producer as well. Yeah.
Oh, to
Right. That's
each
why we only did 35 minutes of the animation because you had to split up, that like that.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Well, we have a caller on the line.
Sure.
Hello, caller. Thank you so much for calling in. This is Jackie Elam Live, Entertainment Unlimited. Who am I talking to, and where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Kylie Johanna, and I'm from Port St. Lucie, Florida.
Hi, Kylie. How are you? From Florida?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
I have a few questions
Awesome.
for Klaus, if that's all right.
Sure.
Fire away. Yeah.
I was pretty curious. How difficult was it for you to get into like the animation industry?
Well, because I had the schooling, it is easier, but it's still hard too, because you haven't. It's like when you're out of school, you still have to kind of get your first job.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to take quite a few short films that I produced for nothing really, just to get keep myself working at it. So I wouldn't be kind of if I had a break for 2 years before I hit a job, then I would be not as strong as an artist. So I did some shorts, and I worked for other people too in Denmark before I really got hired by Cartoon Saloon in Ireland. So I would say it took a few years for me to kind of settle in and get before
It was
got a
pretty
job.
worth it, huh?
But it planned out fine, and when I got to Ireland, and there was a really great place to be, because they were already doing a film when I worked for the studio called The Secret of Kells. I don't know if people know it here, but
I haven't heard of it.
it was also Oscar nominated.
Okay.
And this was Tom Moore's first film. And then I worked for the studio, and then later on when I stopped working for them, then we got the opportunity to do Song of the Sea. So it was really the greatest opportunity I could have had, not knowing at the time.
So that sounds like by your second or third project, you were working on an Oscar-nominated film.
Pretty much. I did, take a few jobs in between here and there, because you do have to keep yourself busy. So I did a little bit commercial stuff in between in Denmark only. But yeah, I mean, Song of the Sea came along, and of course we jumped on it instantly.
Right away. Did you have another question?
Yeah, it was what's it like to come from like such a small place and then become so big? Like that must be so exciting for you.
Well, I don't really think about. I mean, I'm from the countryside. I grew up in small Denmark in the countryside. I think that city, Grastrup, where I'm originally from, that's not even 1,000 people. That must be, I don't know, 400 people.
Oh wow, even
So
smaller.
it's really countryside. So yeah, it's pretty. You never know these films. When you make a film, you have no idea how well it's gonna translate to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
You're just gonna do your best. You're gonna do the best you can with the style, with the story, and then it comes out, and it could have also been a complete failure. You have no idea how people sometimes love something.
Okay.
And we also, been lucky and fortunate enough to have been on projects that really got recognized.
Oh, that's great.
So you
then.
really never know.
So look out for Denmark with the animated movies.
It's great now. We were standing in when we were here last year at the Oscars, which was pretty amazing. I'd never been there before. Thomas tried it, once before, and we were standing there on the red carpet, and people like Clint Eastwood walks by you and stuff. It's really surreal, but it's also great, at the same time.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for calling in. Did you have another question? But you can't take over my show now. You got two questions in, girl. No, it's fine.
I wanted to make a comment and say that
Okay.
I watched Secret of the Kells, and it was absolutely
you saw
amazing.
it?
The
Oh,
style is very different from what we see over in the Americas. So I wanted to get to let you know everything you've done is amazing, and I'm really, really glad to be on the show.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much for calling in, and also for seeing the films that he's produced. So,
Sorry, I didn't produce Secret of Kells. Just so,
Okay, wait, let's clarify that.
But yes, but I worked at the studio at the time they did Secret of Kells. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
but it was great anyway. It was awesome.
And so
Yeah.
right before the commercial break, I was asking, do they still draw on the paper? Do they still do the whole little, oh, bye, sweetie? Did I said bye earlier? Oh, she's gone. Well, bye again. Do you flip it? You know, you said no, they don't make animated movies like that anymore, right?
Funny enough, Secret Kills was made the old-fashioned way, where you hand draw, every frame of the film. There's 24 frames per second of film. Also, when you shoot camera, we have to draw 24 frames per second. And that's why it was so gigantic in paper, because you have to draw every single frame.
Per second. Wow.
And that's how Lion King, was done, and that's how Secret Kills was done. When it came to Song of the Sea, we were at a different time.
Okay.
And that meant that paper animation was pretty much gone. So we did it digitally, but you still draw everything just on Cintiqs or at the computer, but it's not paper anymore.
Okay, that's great. So $6 million, so you say you'd never know if a film will be liked or not.
No.
So you don't feel like maybe by the time you watched it at the end of it, when you guys finished and you went through it, did you still not feel like, oh, this is something special about this film, or you were just completely shocked that it was nominated?
Well, we work on these films because it's animation for so long. I believe Song of the Sea was a 3-year journey from
Wow.
maybe even more. Well, Tom will know, but probably from the script till the finished. These are years that goes by because we have to draw everything.
Is that normal?
That's completely normal.
Oh.
I think Disney spends 5 years on productions.
Okay.
So
I
that's
didn't know
pretty
that.
normal because you have to animate, 1 hour and a half, by just creating that from scratch. So you can't
Right.
just film it all over. I mean, you have to really animate it. And I think an animator by average can do like 6 seconds a week. So that will tell you how long it takes.
6
Yeah.
seconds.
Yeah.
A week.
Yeah.
So I understand now why the budgets may be higher, because it's a lot of manpower. It's a lot of, and it's years. Now, back in the day, it used to take years to film movies with people, and it's shorter now, and the turnaround is faster too.
Right.
The editing process is much faster now too. You could do a commercial today, and I've seen as fast as a couple of weeks later you see it airing on TV. That happened to one of the commercials with my boys. But with animation movies, it's still tedious, it's still time consuming, I see.
Yeah.
Do you
very
think
much.
technology will ever catch you guys up, save some time maybe?
Well, the funny thing is, people who doesn't know animation really well, and we have laughed about this so many times because that's totally fine when you don't know the process. But since we work with this every day, and some people think that the computer, now that it's digitalized, they will just fill in the blanks for you and just animate something. The computer can't really animate anything. It's just like the pencil in a way. There's no difference.
Okay.
So the computer is just like a pencil.
It's a tool.
You still have to animate to tell the computer what to do, and then it will do that. So it's still a super slow process in a way. So when we draw on Cintiqs, we're still drawing into the computer by hand. And so that hasn't really changed,
Okay.
Since it's the same kind of way. Just now, it's just we don't have to scan the papers. I guess that's faster.
Okay.
But we still have to do the same work. So that doesn't really change
You guys
anything.
are saving trees
Yeah.
too.
So in CGI, it's so funny with computer animation. It's also the same. If you're a computer animator, you still have to know how to move the model in the computer to do those emotional scenes. Otherwise, work. You can't do that. So that's really interesting that nothing has really changed in the process of animation.
And what I find amazing about your story, and I don't know if this is across the board for people who want to produce animated films, normally, let's just say over here, if someone wants to be a producer of a film, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes they start off maybe as an actor, then they work their way up to, they work their way up the ladder to get to that producer title. But it sounds like, and I don't know if this is across the board or just in Denmark, you came out of animated school and then you went right into producing and creating shorts and creating and doing commercials. So you didn't have to climb a ladder to get to the producer
you
status?
do. I started as a production managing roles or coordinating roles before you get to produce anything.
Okay.
So I did, but not for long. I have to say that I was pretty lucky in the sense that I met some great people who really liked what we did and then supported that. And then when it got to Song of the Sea, we were offered to co-produce that with Cartoon Saloon Island, and that then you get the producer credit. But you normally start as an assistant, and you move your way up to animation coordinator, and then you can managing stuff and so on. So it is
Okay, so it's still a ladder that you have to climb. That's what I was wondering.
No, definitely.
So when you were nominated, like, just how did that feel? Were you shocked, or were you guys just because again, it's from Denmark, like, and you guys were up against these two big other projects?
I know you can tune in on these things because those nominations. Well, I don't know if you know this, but first you're shortlisted. It's quite a process.
Yeah, I don't know the process. What can you tell us a little bit? Okay, what's the process?
So the Academy every year they have the best animated feature category, and they select, depending on how many films were made that year, they either nominate 3 or 5, depending on how many films.
Who's nominating these films?
So to be nominated or to be shortlisted first for nomination, I think they pick about 20, maybe I'm wrong, 20 films for the shortlisting.
Okay.
And those 20 will end up, they pick 5 out of 20 to be nominated in the end. To be shortlisted, you have to play, in theaters to qualify for. You can't just put it out yourself.
Or on DVD or anything like that?
No. Okay. You have to actually screen it here in LA County.
Is it a minimum amount of movie theaters?
Well, you can screen it in LA County for a week, I think, and still be considered.
Okay.
But the fact is that, these people who shortlist you, they need to get a chance to see it. So you can't just screen it in Iceland. That makes sense. And for a week and then be nominated because they don't have Academy members won't have a chance to watch it.
Exactly.
So you gotta find a spot here so they have a chance to see the film, and if they like it or not, they can kind of submit it to a shortlisting, and then you have 20 films that year.
So who are you inviting to the screening then? So is it strategic, like you're inviting certain people to see this film that you've created?
I've never really taken care. I mean, there's distributors who plan all of that.
Okay.
So I have actually no idea how
we need to get them in so we can learn that part
works.
of it.
I just know that they pick 20 films, and then the shortlisting will get kind of that will be informed I think online somewhere, and you can watch. Oh, I'm in the shortlisting. Okay, and then later on they pick. Then they vote for the ones who actually get nominated. And that's a live transmission once that is done from somewhere at the Oscars, where they actually have, in our case last year was J.J. Abrams who introduced who's nominated, and who's not nominated.
That's really big.
And then I don't remember if we were the 4th one to be called. I think we were the 4th. This is something that I know Tom couldn't even watch because it's nerve-wracking. So
now let's take us there in your seat.
Yeah.
So then now you see, but you already knew you were shortlisted. You already knew you were nominated. Of course, you get a letter in the mail.
We knew we were shortlisted, but we didn't know if you were nominated. That's when in the case that JJ goes on television and say, here's the nominations for this year.
So it's a surprise to you, like it is to us.
It is. Nobody knows.
Okay.
So that's when he announces for the first time all the films, including a best animated film, which is in fact the nominated films, that year. So it's just a shock to us when Song of the Sea got mentioned that that we were in, because basically there's so many great films, and there's only 5 spots. You have no idea, right? I didn't know we were going to be nominated, and I was actually teaching in Denmark at the animation workshop at that time, so I couldn't even watch it online, the nominations. So I had my phone.
So you weren't even there?
I couldn't even, I knew it was on, and I was like, I hope I have a break soon so I can just see if it's, if we got a nomination or not. But it was on in my back pocket, and it was playing on silent, so I could just see even if we break.
Mm-hmm.
But the animation category doesn't get announced the first, it's not one of the first that get announced. It takes a little, there's so many categories, best effects, best costume, blah, blah, blah. So I had that on, and then there was some from the school who who opened the door because they've
They
been
shouted
watching it
to
and
you.
said, "Hey, Song
It's
of Sea got nominated." And
nominated.
it was great. And then no more teaching that day, I think.
That's awesome. I know
that
you
was
should have
it.
gotten off. That's amazing. So while you're there, you're excited. I want to know, were you as equally excited as you were to be nominated? Were you, oh, we didn't get it? Or you were just so stoked that you guys were excited and
No, it-
were nominated? You just were,
I think I don't know anybody who doesn't want to be nominated. Okay,
so
this is
so get the win,
probably
that's
the
an extra. But if you
greatest
don't get the
prize.
win, you're
Exactly.
just
Well,
excited.
the win. Well, we won the moment we got nominated.
Yes,
in my opinion.
that's good.
Yeah.
And that's how you have to look at it.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Wow. So we already have to take another commercial break. We're going to talk about your film that's here now and the reason why you're here promoting. As soon as we come back, Lord God, thank you guys so much for watching. We're learning a lot. As always, we're here to educate and empower and to inspire you all. There may be some of you out there that want to do animated films, and we have someone. So call in. We're accepting other callers if you have any questions. Stay tuned. This is Jackie Elam Live, Entertainment Unlimited.
We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Introducing Cover Your Child in the Entertainment Industry, an informative and revealing book from author Jackie Elam. Jackie Elam is an experienced and working actress, mom, and manager whose two sons are child actors that have worked in motion pictures, modeling, television shows, and commercials. Cover Your Child in the Entertainment Industry is an enlightening and instructive book that teaches parents how to get their child into the entertainment industry and provides answers to some of the tough questions for parents who already have children in show business. Author Jackie Elam wrote this book to educate and empower parents to be proactive and learn the ins and outs of the business, as well as the laws that govern it in California and other states. As a parent, you'll learn what to look for in contracts, how you can avoid being a victim of fraud, set stories, how to take the pressure off of your child to make the entire process fun, and so much more. Order your copy of Cover Your Child in the Entertainment Industry today by logging on to www.jackieelam.com.
Hey H-Town, what it do? It's your girl Jackie Elam, author, speaker, entrepreneur, and Hollywood set mom. Tune in to America Talk Live on latalklive.com every Saturday at 12 noon Pacific to check out my new show, Jackie Elam Live. I will reveal the world of child performers and various forms of entertainment for all ages. My guests and I are going to empower and educate you with helpful stories, topics, and advice about the show business. This is going to be a fun-filled hour, so don't forget to tune in to Jackie Elam Live every Saturday, 12 noon Pacific on latalklive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
3, 2, I'm about to tune
Welcome back, my global viewers. This is Jackie Elam Live, Entertainment Unlimited. We are talking to Claus Kjaer, Oscar-nominated producer, animated producer. I am so excited for you. I was just on a commercial break because I have to let my people know what I did. I touched his hands because everything he touches is golden. I said, rub some of
I'm
that
not so
on
sure about
me.
that, but yeah.
Like, seriously. So Long Way North is in theaters now. It was nominated for several awards as well and won the 2016 Tokyo Film Festival award. And that's amazing. So that's like your third animated movie now, maybe? We're on.
It's a second co-production, yeah.
And then the other one, even though the young lady said she watched it, that one also was nominated for something too, right?
Yes, but I didn't really produce that one. So
okay.
yeah, so in my book,
you don't
it's
count
like
that one,
no,
because you didn't produce
it's
it.
I just worked for the studio at the time. But yeah, this is a second co-production, and we're really happy that that they loved it in Tokyo and it won. Yeah, that was great.
That's amazing. So yeah, I know I touched his hand. Let's do it again. One more. Touch his hand. Yeah, I need some of that. So that's amazing. So once you win, is that the goal now? Like now, every time you touch, do you want it to be nominated? Are you looking for it to be nominated? Because is it a thing? Is it kind of political? Like now, your name as a producer is tagged to these nominations and
Well,
these
we're
wins.
quite a number of producers on these films because, like I said earlier, it really takes a lot of effort to raise financing in each country. So on Song of the Sea, we are actually, if you combine the Irish team who really put, they kind of wrote the script over there. Tom was producing and directing from Ireland. I think we count because every co-producer, every country has a name attached, of course. So I think we're around 8 of us for Song of the Sea
Oh, okay,
who
that's
really,
good.
put all this finance together.
Well, we
and-
kind of used to seeing that many
Yes.
producers and executive producers.
Exactly. That's
That just
lots.
means there's a lot of
Yeah.
people that put a lot of money in.
Yes. So where did I get from? So yeah, so when things like this happen, you win. Of course, it's nice to win. It's always great, and it also gives you I don't know, courage to continue the work, and now you're more inspired to do better. And we were really lucky for Song of the Sea. I think it ended up being about 16 awards that we won.
Wow,
and
that's great.
and then nomination wise it was just more, but obviously nobody can win everything.
Exactly.
So but it's just pleasing. With Long Way North we started off great by we won we screened it in Annecy last year,
Okay.
and that's one of the biggest European animation festivals.
Okay.
And we won the award of the public, which is a really great award because that means that everybody who watched it loved
Liked
the film.
it. Exactly.
So that was a good start. And then with the Tokyo, that was just amazing because we love Japanese animation.
Okay.
And Miyazaki and all the Ghibli studio are big, inspiration to us. So that was nice to win.
That's great. So I want to play the video, the trailer for Long Way North, so you guys can see it and catch it in the movie theaters before. It's in French. Okay, well that's even better. Oui, oui,
Yes.
oui. Si, oui, oui, oui. I don't know any other words. But just watch the video. I'm gonna watch it for the first time too with you guys.
Voici notre fille Sacha. Mademoiselle.
Prince,
J'espère qu'elle sera digne de son rang. Elle est si imprévisible en ce moment.
la mort de papa l'a bouleversée. Elle est tout juste en train de l'accepter.
Son bateau n'a toujours pas été retrouvé?
Hélas, les recherches du Davaï n'ont rien donné.
Le Davaï n'a pas coulé. Je sais comment le retrouver.
Taisez-vous. J'ai assez entendu de sornettes.
Pourquoi vous ne voulez pas me croire?
Masachek, à la prochaine expédition, tu m'accompagneras.
Sacha! Sacha!
Capitaine Loon, j'ai trouvé la preuve que les recherches du Davaï n'ont pas été faites au bon endroit.
Et en plus, elle va nous dire où le trouver.
Ben oui.
C'est une brave petite. Faut que tu l'écoutes.
En avant, toutes!
À part nous porter malheur, elle va nous servir à rien, cette gamine.
Vous avez la trouille?
C'est pour sauver l'honneur de ma famille que je dois ramener le Davaï.
Pas question de renoncer maintenant.
Allez les gars, courage!
Il est où le bonheur alors?
Tout en haut du monde. Le plus difficile commence maintenant. Mais c'est tellement beau. J'aimerais que tu vois ça, ma petite Sacha.
Okay, that was great. So is that the system now? Now you want to be, do you feel validated because you are recognize your work, not just yours, I know it's other producers, but do you feel like you guys are looking for that validation now?
Well, things has gotten easier, obviously, because once now Song of the Sea has made its mark, and this is Long Way North, and we were part of, song, so it has been a lot easier now to, come here and to talk about the film, and I'm very happy about that. Hopefully more people will watch Long Way North because of song.
Yes, it's. Now I want to say I'm going to tell you the truth about the Americans. We tend to be a little lazier. Now I saw that you got to read the whole time. Like really? Like seriously? I got to
Oh,
read that?
this is the French
Okay, the French
version,
version.
but
Okay.
it's been dubbed into English, so it actually released here with the English voices. Just so you know.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
It's okay because I'm like I love it. It
Yes.
looks beautiful, but do I
Yes.
really have to do all this work? I pay money to
Nope.
come sit down and relax, not to read.
This is the way it was originally recorded with the French actors and actresses,
Okay.
and then obviously when we distribute to your country, it will be really weird to have
I know,
that.
in French.
So
But it sounds so
yes.
good. Oui, oui, oui. And even when they were getting angry and it was getting
Yes.
like drama, it was still beautiful. So
Yeah.
that's great. So, and that's so awesome that you get to shop your film like from country to country almost. You guys are kind of just moving around. And so you're here for a week. You guys are marketing Long Way North.
Yes, the director was here with us the first 3 days, but he went back to France now. So we have had a little reunion here with people that I haven't seen for quite a while. They came from France, and that was great. And they did a great job too. The whole vision of Long Way North, the visual style, that's really the director Remy Chaillet who had this. He worked 10 years on the film, just so you know, even before we got on it.
Wow.
He worked on the story, and he actually did the whole storyboards. I don't know if that makes sense too, but we storyboard the film before we actually animate it, so we don't have to animate it if there's mistakes in it. We have to get the story right.
Okay.
So we do a little, almost like a graphic novel of the film, so we can see how it plays out before we
Okay.
even start animation on it. And he did the whole thing himself. Normally you have a team of storyboarders.
So that's why it took 10 years too.
He was but yes, so he did, he did a great job on that. But then he realized, and I know this is something that everybody knows now, that so when he did that, he realized that the story was still not strong enough. So he went back, and then he kind of wrote with some people the story, and realized, okay, but that's gonna change half the film now. And he already storyboarded it all by himself, and he was like, I can't do it again.
I need to have
So
a
he-
team now.
So he hired two or three other people, including Lian Shou, who did a great job on it, and he also worked on The Little Prince, if you know that film. And then they storyboarded, the rest of the film, the other, half part, and got it done. But it was a long process from that, and we just got on board a few years ago and produced the animation for it. So I have not been part of it maybe the first 7.5 years.
So I noticed that on IMDb, did you just start in the business? How long have you been in it, or just
I have
IMDb?
10 years.
10 years.
Yes.
Okay.
So not that much, but yeah, it's a little bit over 10 years. I think I've been in the business in total. But it's 6 years ago since we started the company
Okay,
in
that's
Denmark.
pretty fast, and you guys have been
Yeah.
recognized. That's amazing.
And besides one film, I wasn't partner in the beginning. I was partner when we started Song of the Sea and did that financing. So yeah, it's been a quite quick journey in a way.
Yes,
But
it's very unusual, but
yes.
you guys are very blessed. Quick question: do you think about the Oscar curse? Have you ever heard of the Oscar curse? Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay, you don't know what that is. Okay, so
Oscar curse?
actors, right? So they go these long, wonderful careers acting, and of course they all want to be nominated. They all want to take that
Sure.
that trophy home, right? But usually, in what they call it an Oscar curse, because what happens sometimes when people are nominated and then they win, it's like for some people their careers fizzle
Right.
away and they don't get as much work, which is like the opposite of what you would think would happen. You would
Right,
think people
yeah.
would work more because they have shown that I'm worthy of this great award, so I
Right.
should work more. And they call it an Oscar curse because a lot of people's careers tend to die out after they win. So I was kind of wondering, you guys, well, you never heard of it, so you don't even think about it then.
No, and now that you mention it, I can see what you mean. There's been some careers definitely where maybe I enjoyed the work much more prior, and then maybe not as much after the
Right.
win. But then there are also people who continuously are doing great work. I think it's a lot up to yourself in a way, because what happened in our case is that we try not to think too much about it either, because when I read a script, I just want it to be good. And so I'm not even thinking about, oh, could this be an Oscar-winning script? I'm just saying this is a film I would like to do myself, because you can't really be objective anymore. It's really funny when I read Long Way North, I loved the story, so I didn't usually have a lot of notes, but I didn't have a lot of notes, and that was a good indicator that this is something we gotta do. And that was beyond thinking, what happens now. This was back then, because you have such a long journey making it, because it's animation. You can't really think about all the rest.
All of that,
because you have to troubleshoot everything so you don't fail production-wise.
Okay.
And that's 2 or 3 years, right?
And
where
that makes
everything can
sense.
go wrong.
Right.
And if it goes wrong, there won't be a film. So all that work has to somehow add up to the movie. Now that the movie is done, now we can relax more and then concentrate on the circuit of the award seasons. But I hardly think about it that way. I just want to make a great story, and make that come to life. Because I think that's what draws everybody in any way. I don't think you can make a recipe of this is an Oscar-winning film.
So and that's what I was going to ask. When you're looking over the script, is that different from looking? Have you done any other films? Well, you did, because you did commercials. You had to work your way up to like doing these animated movies. So is that process different when you're looking at this script with humans and in this script with cartoons, that you have to visualize how they would look as you're reading these scripts or choosing, because you want to choose the right script as well?
Well, normally, because it's animation, you will have with the script a few drawings.
Okay.
Because everybody, because if the style doesn't marry the story, then we have a problem too. So everyone I know will ask for that if it's not included. So you get a script and a few images.
Okay.
Not animated, just pictures of how they think it will look like. And it can change though, still. So you can still upgrade the style, maybe 30% or more. And then you have a pretty good idea, okay, this fits pretty well. So I knew the style of Long Way North when I read the script. But it was really, really interesting. Because I read a lot of scripts, and there are definitely scripts that are where you think of, this needs to be changed a lot for me to like it. And then when you do make it, there's also the chance that now I'm not objective anymore, because we worked on this for 3 years.
So long.
I really seriously couldn't say if Long Way North, in the end, I knew we did all we could, and I loved the script from the start, and it didn't change anymore. But when you look at the film, because I've seen it so many times in different versions, I'm not the best judge now. I can't really judge it.
Yeah.
So what we do is we sometimes test it for people who have never seen it before.
Okay.
And then get their reactions. And
before you send it out.
Before we actually send it out.
Okay.
Just to have an idea if it works or not. Maybe we were all wrong. Maybe it didn't work at all. But
so do you plan on eventually moving here? Is that the goal of all filmmakers? Even though you want to be recognized, you want that film to be recognized, you want it to be here at the award shows, do you want to relocate? Do you feel like you'll get more work or bigger projects?
Well, the world gotten smaller in the sense of because we live in a digital world where you can easily communicate over, we do a lot of meetings over, different kind of, Google Hangout or Skype or whatever.
Okay.
Which you couldn't do
before.
So that was a problem. Now it's easier to kind of work together even if you're not in the same country.
Okay.
And that's also how we did, the other films, because we were 5 countries on Song and 2 countries on Long Way North. And just adding US is it's gotten much easier because you can talk all the time so quickly. So in that sense, we don't really need to be. I would actually like it in another sense, because
we have the best weather.
Great to have an office here, definitely. But it's something that we, every production we have done up to this point has all been handled in Denmark. But we're trying to move into. We got a partner on last year for the first time who's not Danish, who is from Vancouver in Canada.
Okay.
And she's worked in the business before for Pixar, for 8 years.
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
think.
really big, yeah.
And so this is the first time we're actually tapping into North America in a way. So maybe in some years, if it all goes well, I wouldn't mind having an office here.
Well, I think that people are going to start to look out for you now because you have that magic touch. Everything's getting nominated. You know, you're already an Oscar nod, so that's pretty amazing. And around this town, word spreads pretty fast, so I'm sure you are in the doors and where you need to be. I'm really excited and so thankful that you came in and talked with me and educated us on how it goes on in the animated world.
Well, it was my pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you. And if you guys have not seen his new movie, Long Way North, get out there. How long is it going to be in the movie theaters? Is it almost...
Well, it's a limited release, so it won't open everywhere, but it will open gradually. You know, I know they're adding different cities by every week.
Okay.
So... Yeah.
Just go to the website.
Just go to Shout Factory. That's our distributor, and they can show you on. They will update the website to see where the next city is and what times it's showing and stuff.
And then, do your production company or do you have any social media so people can follow you guys?
Yes, we have a Facebook page. We actually update quite a bit.
Okay.
Called Nerlum, like the company, and we also have.
And can you spell that for people? Spell that out.
So it's...
it's up there? Okay.
Yeah, it's up. Okay.
It's all right up there? Okay.
Right.
Awesome.
Yes.
It's a Facebook and then IG, Twitter, anything
and
like
Twitter,
that?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So you guys know where to find them. You know how to see if this movie is going to open up in your city near you. Get out and support all my global viewers. And we are so excited that you guys tuned in and learned with us. Thank you so much, Claus, for coming in.
Thanks so much.
Woo-hoo!
Thanks.
Awesome. I love learning. Let's get it together. Have a great day. Tune in next Saturday. I will be here. Oh, yes, and I am still doing my social media contest. Well, is that a contest? Well, I guess. We're tagging. I want you guys to go out and to tag your social media entertainer under my show banner on my IG page, Jackie.Elam. I got a great response last week. I am going to do one more week, and then I will choose someone to interview. I'm going to choose two. Maybe one that can come into the station, and then one over the phone. And then whomever I choose, I will also use that tagger to call in and to be part of the show as well. And we're going to do this show in December. So make sure you guys tag under my show banner your favorite social media entertainer. They can be a comedian. They may do skits. As long as they're entertaining you, maybe artsy work, art, or whoever, whatever. So if it's entertaining, tag them and let them know that I'm looking for people to interview. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you guys next Saturday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I have to think about where I am. Have a good day.
LA Talk Live and the Talk Live Broadcast Network, original reality radio, and crafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk. Stay tuned.